Now, here's what's scary, right? And so now, this fantasy that I've had,
Yeah.
where I could go to sleep and dream about killing on The Tonight Show,
Right.
is now a possibility, and that's scary to me.
Yeah.
Because now I have a chance to screw up my fantasy.
Right. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Breakthroughs with Jordan Murphy. Conversations about the defining moments that shape our lives. And you guessed it, this is Jordan Murphy. And I'm here today with a great guest, Jon Reep. You know him probably best as the guy from the HEMI commercial.
Yeah, that's the... actually, that might be the first big...
That was a big one.
Yeah.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
And then several years back, you broke through with NBC's Last Comic Standing, winning season 5.
Yes, I was on a sitcom for a couple seasons, lots of commercials, lots of stand-up specials here and there.
Yep.
Adult films in the 90s I don't want to brag too much about.
No, I know. No, you can find all that information online, I'm sure.
I'm trying to bury it, but it keeps popping up.
No pun intended.
That was one of the names of the films, yes. It keeps popping up.
It just keeps popping up. So Jon travels the country
Yes.
doing stand-up.
Yes.
And we're going to get into that today. We're going to talk about a lot of things about who Jon Reep is, what he's up to, and talk specifically about the subject matter of what this show is about, which is breakthroughs. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, I got to believe, as a stand-up, you have your share of ups and downs.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, right? I started in North Carolina. That's where I'm born and raised, a little town called Hickory. Yeah, I mean, right there, the word hick is in the town's name.
Yeah, it really is.
The jokes write themselves. I mean, it's kind of famous. It was once the furniture capital of the world, home to Winston Cup champion Del Jarrett, and the pig from Green Acres is from Hickory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then me. Yeah. Woo. So I made it out. I grew born and raised there. And my whole life, I was like the goofball class clown. My dad got class clown when he was in high school.
Is that like in the yearbook, you mean?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Back then, they didn't call it clown. It was actually had a better title. It was like wittiest. You know, now we're just straight up clowns.
That sounds rapier, like wittier rape. Rapier rip. No.
Especially last name's Reep. It doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
But he got it. I got it. My brother after me got it, like when he was a senior in high school. So my whole life,
You have a legacy. It's a legacy.
In a weird way. And I remember winning it. I remember getting it when I was in high school. I was so happy because I got to, like, I felt like I was filling my dad's shoes, you know?
That's so funny.
As a joke.
He was so proud of you.
I think maybe, because I haven't won anything else.
No, you know, honestly, though, there is something to be said about wanting your kids to have a sense of humor. I have 3 kids, and my wife and I have a somewhat, I would say, maybe off-centered sense of humor. You know, we do things that most parents, if you overheard us, might go, really?
Right.
But I want our kids to have a sense of humor.
Well,
and what's funny.
Most women say that's what they look for in a man.
Totally.
So there you go. It's something to aspire to.
That's right. Check that
And my
box.
dad wanted me to do well with the ladies, I guess.
Yes.
So he wanted me to, procreate. So
Good.
I have. That was the growing up Hickory, blah blah blah. Then, like, I never thought it would ever come to anything. You know, like I would. I love comedy. I'd watch, it's going to sound weird now, but Bill Cosby was a big one back in the day.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was one of the funniest guys.
It's weird to even say that now,
I know.
but I can't change the past.
I know.
But
he didn't know.
No, he didn't know. He did a good job at fooling
Plausible
everybody.
deniability.
Yes. But that was one of the comedies I remember sitting around with the family watching Bill Cosby himself on HBO.
In the suit.
Yeah,
with the crooked tie.
He came out
with the crooked tie, sitting in a chair.
In a chair,
Yeah.
and the background that changed colors.
Yeah.
That was, I almost had that thing memorized. And so we love comedy, right? But I never thought that I would actually go into this business because when you grow up in a town like Hickory, being a comedian is not a real thing. To me, it was only... Comedy was only stand-up comedy was only places that existed in L.A. or New York. Like, I didn't know there were clubs all over the country. I had no idea.
Right.
So it was just a fantasy.
Right.
Now years later, I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm like 19 or 20. That's about 3 hours outside of Hickory. There is a comedy club called Good Nights, and it's right there. And I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't know these were in places in North Carolina.
You moved into town right next to a comedy store.
Well, there was, the campus, NC State. I was there for college.
Right, got it, okay.
And then the campus, maybe like a block away, there was a comedy club.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, what? And all my friends are telling me, like, you got to go check it out. You got to go check it out. And now here's what's scary, right? And so now, this fantasy that I've had, where I could go to sleep and dream about killing on The Tonight Show,
right,
is now a possibility, and that's scary to me because now I have a chance to screw up my fantasy.
That's right.
Now I can say, well, I tried and I sucked, and what's my next thing to dream about? So
interesting how the universe presents things to us.
Yeah, I remember it being a very scary personal thing. When I went, I didn't even tell my friends I was going. I went by myself because I didn't want them to see me not do well.
So wait, your friend said, hey, you go check it out. Now, when I hear go check it out, that means I'm going to go, I'm going to walk in, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to listen to some comedy.
Yeah.
You went to actually do something?
I went in the back of my brain, I wanted to get on that stage.
As like an open mic?
Yeah, open mic.
You had actual material?
No.
You were just going to wing it?
No, I'll do what you said. I was going to check it out and eventually wing it.
Okay, got it.
Or maybe write down something. Okay. But I knew I had to, it was like a mission for me. Like
interesting.
I knew that was going to happen.
Got it.
So I remember the first time I ever set foot in that comedy club. I just went on a random night. It was like it's like gonna be a Thursday night, and I said, "Listen, I've never been to a comedy club in my life." I told the ticket booth lady this. I said, "I've never been to a comedy club in my life. I didn't even know this was here. I just want to see what it looks like in there. Can I just stick my head in the door?
Just look at it?
Yeah, I don't have any money for a ticket. I just want to look at it." She goes, "Fine." So I opened the door and I looked in there, and there was I don't remember her name. It was a female comic. It was on stage. It was a packed house.
Yeah.
And she said a funny joke, and the whole room just died laughing. And I was like, "Oh my God, such power! Like I want that."
Yeah.
And then I got nervous again.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I went there and I started. They had open mic nights and they had a class that you could take, and so I started doing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
But that's where the whole. The ball started rolling for me right there, But like I said, it wasn't something that I thought would ever be a job.
So what was it about? Okay, you went to college. Did you have aspirations to do anything else?
Well, I barely got into college. I went to a community college first in Hickory, not doing anything, just dicking around, taking your random courses, to transfer somewhere else possibly. I mean, I was making C's, maybe an occasional B and something easy, and the D's and hard stuff. And nothing was going to transfer, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And my dad said, well, you better figure it out or you're going to come work for me. And he was the manager of a Goodyear tire and auto store where I had to change tires in the shop, and I knew I didn't want to do that. So my buddy, Mike Hauser, my roommate later on in life, said NC State in Raleigh has this program where anybody off the street can walk in there and take 2 classes in a PE, and if you do well, they might let you in as a full-time student. I was like, oh, so it's like a little loophole. I don't need SAT scores. I don't need things that could transfer.
Wow.
So I got in that way. And then once I got in, I figured, wow, I better pick a major that's easy. All I wanted was a degree. I didn't care what it was going to be in. My dad put he really put a lot of value into a college education. That's something I was pursuing as well for him in a weird way.
Sure. Well, I think that's generational. I think it's a generational thing. I mean, I think having a degree, period, is necessary in the real world.
Sure. Yeah.
In the real world. In any world.
Education.
Well, and there's something to be said about going to school. And I didn't really think about this until I got out of school. But I think about school as not, school is where you learn how to learn.
Oh, yeah.
You learn how to be, it's kind of like your training wheels to life.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to go through that. Just getting thrown into the deep end and not going through college, I personally feel like I would have been missing something substantial if I hadn't gotten to go to college. So I consider myself very, very grateful to have gone to college, period.
Yeah.
Degree or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It does grow. It opened my mind because it was a liberal arts school as well.
Right.
And I'm from one area of the country. And now I go there and I see other ways of thinking and to question everything. I did philosophy courses, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So it made me not just a redneck, it made me a well redneck.
A well redneck. Nicely done.
A blue collar scholar. Yes. A Metro Jethro, I like to say.
That's right. That's right.
But so I barely got into college. I got in, picked a degree only because I thought it'd be easy, which is communication. I'm good at talking. I talk to people all the time. I love it. So I'll just do communication. Plus, that's what the athletes are doing, and they're pretty dumb. I'll just do what they do. Just kidding, athletes. I love you.
Just kidding.
Don't beat me up. But I got into theater courses as well. And when I was taking theater, I realized I was pretty good at it. Like, other people were like, oh, wow. Like, that was good. Can I be your scene partner next project? And I'm like, oh, okay, people are demanding me.
Right.
And so that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence to go to to the comedy club one more time and actually sign up for the open mic stuff. You know?
Okay, got it.
Yeah, sign up and even take a class.
Okay.
And there was a guy teaching a class. And, you know, you get maybe 3 minutes on these open mic things, thank God. But you think 3 minutes goes by quick.
No.
It goes by quick if you know what you're doing.
Right.
And you have things to talk about. Otherwise, it goes by a long. You're like, wow, this is not. Okay, how many more minutes? Two.
And no one's laughing. And,
yeah.
And you thought something that was really going to kill doesn't kill.
Jordan, my first time on stage, it's on tape somewhere.
Oh. And
my buddy Marty, who was my biggest fan before stand-up, he's my friend that had laughed at everything I did all the time.
Right.
He's the one who said, you need to get on stage, right?
Right.
So he's in the back of the room on this open mic night, and there's maybe 20 people in the crowd, and he's back there with a little camcorder, and I thought it'd be funny, because I was a Chris Farley fan, to just run on stage and fall down. You know, just a pratfall.
Yeah.
Just your basic 101.
Yeah.
Well, the guy introducing me decided to tell the crowd it's his first time on stage, so be nice. And then, so that right there makes the audience go like, oh, they get a little nervous for you.
Right.
They get nervous for you.
Yeah.
And so when I ran there and busted my ass.
Oh, man.
I mean,
They thought you were hurt.
It looked real. Like, it was a good fall. And they're like, oh, he fell. It's his first. Oh. And I'm like, I was expecting a big laugh. And I got up going, no, I did it on purpose. Shit! And then no one's laughing. My buddy Marty's in the back of the room laughing at me.
Yeah.
And I would tell a joke and no one would laugh, but the camera would just bounce up and I'd go. And so I watched the tape and I realized, okay, so there's a couple things that did work.
Right.
I got some laughs here and there. It wasn't 3 minutes of laughter. It was maybe a minute and a half. But I can fix this. I'll learn how to talk into the mic next time.
That helps.
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of the? Do you remember any of your first jokes?
Yeah. That doesn't mean I want to tell them.
Okay.
No, I'll tell you. Okay, so I had two of them that I remember. I'm a big sports guy.
Yep.
Football's my sport. And the Carolina Panthers had just came into the NFL. And so we had a coach, we had a player named Tim Biakabatuka. He was a running back, I think, from Michigan. But anyway, our football coach at the time said something like, I think his athletic ability speaks for itself. And so I just thought, and to me that was a weird thing. Like, well, how does it speak at all? It's just it's a verb. It's athletic ability. So I thought, like, I did this stupid impression of like, well, his athletic ability speaks for itself. And then the camera pans over to him. I go, what do you think, Tim Biakabatuka? And he's just doing jumping jacks and squat thrusts. Right. And that's how he talks. Just through athletic
physical
ability. Yeah. So that was a hard one to explain. So I didn't really get a huge laugh. And I did
You have
another
to
one.
explain your jokes.
Yeah.
They're not working.
Right.
That's a note, right?
Yeah. Plus the punchline is just me doing jumping jacks.
Yeah.
Not good.
No.
But I got some laughs.
But I
got
like
better.
where you were going, though. I like where you're going, like
Yeah.
deconstructing language.
Yeah.
Very Carlin.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Yeah. And then another one, even dumber than that, I said, I've been trying to grow a goatee for a while. It's not really working out, but let me try one more time. And I go, and I try to physically push hair to my pores.
Yeah.
Those are the two I remember.
What would you... Okay, so you've been doing stand-up now for...
Yeah, I started.
Decades.
96. I would say I started, and another pivotal moment that happened that I did not mention yet. When I was doing theater classes, when I was dabbling in the stand-up, maybe checking out an open mic night, taking a class. One of the first things that happened to me, I'm a huge sports guy. I got kicked out of a Carolina Panthers football game for dancing in the end zone with the mascot.
Yeah, I read about that online.
Yes. And so that was another moment where I remember like making 75,000 people laugh without saying a word.
Right.
Now I got more confidence now to go back on stage and have something to talk about. I've got a video of it.
Yeah.
And all that just helped and steamrolled and momentum was building.
It's such an emotional high. Literally the endorphins, the dopamine that just gets released in your body. It's literally a drug.
It is. It really is. And once you get it, you get that one little hit more. It's like, I need more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
about two decades you've been doing this. Now you go up several times a week.
I'm on the
sometimes.
road a lot. Like, my bread and butter, 90% of my income is stand-up comedy and comedy clubs all over the country.
Right.
I have this weekend off. No, I had last weekend off. I go to Tampa, Florida at a club next weekend. And then, but it's like Lexington, Kentucky. It's Boston. It's all over the country.
Right. Is there anything about doing, I can only, I'm guessing because I've never done it. It seems, it takes crazy courage. But you go up and you do this, you have your set.
Yes.
And you know your set. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel like, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over? Do you ever feel like, how do I shake this up? Or do you sometimes go out there and go, I have no idea what I'm doing, or get scared sometimes still, or does it become routine?
Both happen.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah, it gets routine sometimes. Then all right, we gotta shake it up and throw a bunch of new crap in here.
Right.
You gotta do that in the middle. I've discovered.
Oh, you bookend it with the good stuff.
Yeah,
and
start on with something that's going to kill, and end with something that's really going to kill.
Right.
And then in the middle, you
Dabble.
get worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, podcasting has helped me develop new material.
I'm sure.
Because I'm not just mine, not just yours. Other podcasts I've done with comedians. You're sitting there talking, and you tell them a story that happened, and you're like, wow, why isn't that's a bit?
Yeah.
And then you just go on stage with it in the middle.
Right. Right.
And you shoehorn it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But doing it for so long, it can get monotonous. What I like to do is, if I'm going to be, for example, I was in Lexington, Kentucky. They're known for the Kentucky Derby and bourbon. And so I thought, when I'm in that town like that, I try to dabble. I give a day or two of seeing what they're all about. I definitely eat their food.
When in Rome.
When in Rome. Yeah. And so I went to a distillery, a wild turkey distillery with another.
It's generous of you.
Yeah. For my art.
Yeah. You're studying. Research.
Yeah. Right. I wrote it. It's tax deductible as well.
Exactly.
And so what I did was a funny story came out of it because there was this cute old lady giving the tour. When she was maybe 80 years old, about 4'1", had this little orange vest because at one point we had to cross the road, safety first.
Oh, yeah.
And she kept repeating the word bunghole, which is the term for the hole in the barrel when you go to test it. Right?
Oh.
So you have a big old barrel of, even wine has bungholes.
Yeah. No, I went to a bar in London. It was called the Bunghole. I'm like, are you kidding?
Right. Now, we, comedians in this tour, are the only ones laughing every time a sweet old lady goes bunghole.
Yeah.
And she just kept repeating it and has no idea what we were laughing at. But that was something I tried out in that town, and it made it into the act in the very beginning, and it looks, like it's generic. No, it's for them.
Right.
Not generic. It's
specific.
Specific. Thank you.
Yeah.
State college, by the way. For that crowd that weekend, that was that little nugget for them.
Totally. Well, I think you get to identify with them. They identify with you. There's a connection made. I mean, that's smart.
Yeah.
It seems like the smart thing to do.
But you do try to mix it up, and I'll even do some Q&As. I'll do a little crowd work up top. But that has taken time for me to develop the confidence to even go into the crowd.
I'm sure.
Because I rely
You never know where it's going to go.
You never know where it's going to go. And if you rely on your material and you know it works, then that's what you want to give them. Mm-hmm. If you go off script, it's like, well, look, I don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
This could be a horrible road.
Speaking of that, so you've done so many shows. Can you remember any times where you just shit the bed?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really this, my career's over. Or, something really substantial.
Well, yeah, this weekend's the worst.
This weekend?
Whatever it is, this show's over. Well, there's several.
Okay. Pick one of the first ones that comes to your mind.
First one was a technical institute in Wisconsin. When I was moving from the feature act to headliner status, that's where you go from doing 30 minutes on the road to an hour on the road. Okay. I was doing a lot of college gigs, and so one of the colleges I did, sometimes, they'd pay you, they'd hire you for 2 shows. So this one, they hired me for 2 shows, one at noon in the cafeteria, and the other one in the cafeteria again at 8 p.m. So this is already going to suck because it's at noon. It's still daylight. It's in a cafeteria. I'm not a name yet. They don't know who I am.
Right.
I'm just some kid that looks kind of like them on stage talking to a microphone. So I knew this was going to be what we call a hail gig, right? And so I went there at noon. I did the gig. It was fine for what it was. Maybe 100 people were half into it, half not. But I wasn't getting booed. I was getting laughter for the ones who were listening.
Right.
And it went fine. Well, she pays me for both shows. She goes, here's a check. This is for both shows. You better come back. I'm like, of course I'm coming back. I got nothing else to do. I'm in Wisconsin right now. I don't know anybody. And so I go. And by the way, this is a technical institute. This is not a campus where there's thriving, a campus activity scene.
Right.
No
Not a big
one
social
lives
scene.
on campus.
Right. Oh, okay.
So they're all commuters, right?
Right.
So I go back at 8 p.m. thinking it would be about the same. 4 people.
Wait, hold on. 4 people were there?
4 people were there in the cafeteria, not sitting together, not there for a show, studying, doing homework for maybe a test coming up.
Oh, no.
And so I'm walking around, stage is still there, and I'm looking around. I don't see the lady who paid me, who was going to introduce me. I'm like, well, she's not here. Maybe I don't even have to do this. I already got the check.
Right.
And I'm like, well, let me go see if I can find her. I walk around the campus. I found her office. I said, oh, hey, I'm back for the second show. She goes, oh, second show. Ha, that's right. Okay. I go, well, hang on.
Whoops.
I said, well, okay.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah. I said, just so you know, I was already over in the cafeteria, and there's 4 people in there. Do you really want me to do a show for 4 people? And then she cocked a little attitude. She goes, oh, you'll do that show. You'll give me that money back.
Wow.
I said, lady, I'm going to talk to that chair before you get this money back. I'm here. The money is staying with me. And so I said, let's go. She marches me down there defiantly, like going to put me on that stage.
Yes.
And she introduces me, and I got on stage, and there's 4 people not with each other looking around like, what was going on? And the first thing I said, I apologized to him right straight out the gate.
Yeah.
I said, guys,
Sorry to interrupt your study session.
I know, yes. I said, I know you're not here for me, but I'm being forced to talk out loud for 1 hour. If you leave, I will not get mad. In fact, it'd be happier if you leave.
Yeah.
But I'm doing this. And it was shitty. It was hell for like 30 minutes. They were kind of like, not happy about it. And then she left, and I felt like, well, I'll just talk to them. I say it was a shit gig. It actually turned out pretty good in the end because I sat down with them at the table. Like, I don't even need this microphone.
Right.
I just sat down. And I said, look, I got to do another 30 minutes. So what are you guys? It's around Christmas time. I go, what are you guys expecting a good Christmas? What are you going to get for your, your parents, your friends, whatever?
Yeah.
And we just talked about Christmas for about 30 minutes, and then I left.
That was it?
Yeah.
All right.
And then I hit a girl in the head with a Zippo lighter one time in the front row. That was pretty bad.
That is bad. So she tossed you something and you tossed it back?
Yeah,
or?
I was on. This is when I was feature act, and I was doing well. I'd had a couple too many drinks. That's something you should, not do too much of before the show.
I can imagine.
So I was having some beers, and I got on stage, and I was killing for the first 10 minutes, and I said, anybody got a cigarette? And like 8 cigarettes come flying on the stage. I was like, sweet. I said, who's got a lighter? And someone tosses up a Zippo. I was like, oh, cool, Zippo. Do you know any tricks? You know how people do tricks?
Yeah.
So I started hitting on my leg, and that thing flew out of my hand at like Mach 7.
Oh, no.
Hit a girl right on the forehead, and the whole rest of the time, the crowd turned on me. They're like, ooh, that was pretty bad.
That is bad.
Yeah. This is the coming up part, right? So the breakthrough moment.
This is the
pre-last comic stand. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Go ahead. So tell me. So this is the lead up where you have been paying your dues.
Paying my dues, doing open mics, doing the road for no money really, living off credit card, trying out for certain festivals along the way, still living in North Carolina, haven't moved to LA yet.
What's an average guy like you at that point pulling down for a night?
Good Lord, you as a feature act, for the weekend you might get $750 to $1,000.
Got it. And you have to get yourself there, or they bring you there?
You got to get yourself there.
Wow. So it's not even $750 in your pocket.
No. Sometimes
minus airfare.
Sometimes they'll put you up in a hotel or a condo. We have to share condos a lot of times.
Right.
And sometimes they won't. But that's part of paying your dues. Like I went into debt because of this. Like I lived off my credit cards, had to file for bankruptcy when I first moved out here.
Wow.
To pay off all that crap.
Right.
And plus I wasn't doing it right. I should have had merchandise to sell at the end of the show to supplement this.
CDs, t-shirts, hats,
something.
whatever.
But I had no care in the world. I was an idiot.
So you're doing this, you're faking it till you make it.
Right.
It sounds to me though that there was a commitment there.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm doing this. I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm going to get it done.
Yes, I had, when I quit my job, I quit my job in 98 to go full time with this.
Okay.
When I did that, the people at the place I worked, they knew I was doing stand up. and they had come see. Actually, I was working at a TV station, a place called UNC TV, PBS of North Carolina. So I had access to like good equipment, like cameras, and I knew how to do some editing back then when it was videotapes and all this stuff. And so I made a really good 30-minute, half-hour tape of stand-up without. It didn't cost me a dime.
Got it.
I pulled favors. I did it all on my lunch break and that kind of stuff. So I sent that out. Had tons of work, and when I told my boss, "Hey, I'm going full time on this. This is my 2 weeks." He goes, "All right, well, let me tell you, when you come back here in 6 months, I might let you in."
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
He was joking, but I go, okay. But that was like, whew, here we go.
But it's nice of him, though, to say when you come back in 6 months, as opposed to good riddance.
Yeah. They liked me. They knew that I was. It was something I was going to do.
Yeah.
And
it's nice that they were fans.
Yeah. That's
awesome.
They weren't haters. I don't know about fans.
No.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, they were supportive of you to a certain, as much as they could be.
100%.
So it's great, though. I always like, Steve Jobs said in that address he did, the college address he did, I'm not sure if it was Harvard or where the hell it was, but he says, we can't really connect the dots if we look into the future, but we can connect the dots if we look back.
Yes.
I'm totally bastardizing his quote, but basically looking back.
Hindsight's 20/20.
Right. And looking back and seeing like you were in Hickory and then you moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and you were near the Comedy Store, and your friend was a super support, and then the football end zone thing, and then you working for these guys and saying, "I'm calling it. This is it. I'm going in all in."
Yep.
I mean, all these little steps that take
That's
you.
That's funny. I've never even put that all together.
And
before.
that you also worked at a place where you could cut together your own tape,
right,
and not pay for it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the universe kind of lining up.
You're right. I never thought of that. That's funny.
Yeah. I don't believe in accidents.
Yeah.
I think we put ourselves in the way of our destiny, if you will.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you said, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." Now, did the tape editing play into you being able to send stuff to other comedy festivals or to Last Comic Standing, or was that after?
Yeah, it helped me get those jobs on the road as the feature act.
Okay, got it.
What I did was because they also had...
Did you have representation at that time?
No.
Wow.
No, I just did all my own. I made a fake resume. I went and got a headshot. It was horrible.
Love it.
And then I made tons of copies. We had these tape decks, like 20. I could make 20 copies at once. I made probably 50 to 75 tapes for $0 on recycled tapes. That cost me no money as well. And I would send it to every comedy club that I could get the address for before the internet. Where there's actually a book where I had to look up and write this stuff with, like a handwritten stuff.
Yeah.
And
then send it on a stagecoach.
And they liked how, that's right. Yes. Old snail mail. Before the internet. These kids today don't know how easy they got it.
These days.
These whippersnappers.
I know, we sound so old.
I know.
But it's tough no matter when you're starting.
It is.
We all have our hurdles, but those were our hurdles. Yeah. We had to actually use paper and mail and tapes. And, so anyway, keep going.
No, so I sent them every club I could get an address for. And before I know it, slowly trickling in with these offers. Shitty offers because I'm a no-name. And it's the features, what it is. You get paid here's the price, take or leave it.
Yeah.
And I just said yes to everything. And, I didn't route this in my brain. So I had a gig one night in Fargo, North Dakota. Oof. And the next night on stage to be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wow. I'm driving to all these places.
Wow.
So I barely made it to that one, but I just was a road dog for a couple years. And on the way, met other comedians.
Yep.
Met bookers, met other club owners who liked me. Made friends here and there, got invited to festivals.
Yep.
And the big one was the Montreal Comedy Arts Festival. Mm-hmm. And that's like the Super Bowl of festivals for comedians. And I went there, did good as a new face. They have a segment called New Faces. I did well and was invited back to L.A. with all kinds of meetings. I remember one was CBS, Ron Howard's Imagine TV's production company. Mm-hmm. And in every meeting I went to, they all said, well, you're funny and you're physical. You act your stuff out. And it says here you're a theater major. You should move out here and audition for stuff, maybe commercials. I go, well, they're telling me to do it. Why not?
Yeah.
And at this point, I had made friends. And one of them who moved out here let me stay on his couch for a while. And then I realized, okay, here's the next big move. I'm moving.
Yeah.
And I moved to Los Angeles in 2000. I've been here ever since. But this is all still before Last Comic Standing. Now, commercials, like we talked about the commercial briefly, the Dodge truck commercial. Yeah. That is a breakthrough. I did 6 of those things. That made me some money.
Those paid well.
Well, you know, because you do commercials.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, my parents, every time when I'm at home and your commercial pops, I go, Mom, that's my neighbor. She's like, oh, so we got to get a picture. I'm going to send it to my mom and dad. They're going to love
funny.
this. Yeah. But yeah, so that really helped get me out of debt. That helped. Well,
it gives breathing room.
Gives you breathing. It makes you relax.
Some
a little
freedom,
bit.
dude.
Yeah.
I know. No, because most of the time we spend so much time as struggling actors, struggling entertainers,
right,
trying to figure out how to get our next gig, that we're rarely able to really just be where we're at.
Right.
We're always trying to figure out how to get where we're going. Mm-hmm. And when you suddenly have a little bit of success and that money starts to flow in a bit, you can at least kind of go,
right, yeah, you're not so panicky.
Yes.
And you get a little more creative,
That's
too.
what I was going to say. Your creative juices can flow because you're not so constricted by terror.
Right, that's true. So,
I mean, there is something to be said about motivation from terror.
That's true.
But there's something really powerful. I mean, honestly, this podcast came out of having freedom.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what? I want to do this now.
I can do this.
I want to do this. Why am I want to do this? Because I want to.
Yeah, why not? It's fun.
Yes.
And it can, who knows where this will go?
Who knows?
Exactly.
But it feels good.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I mean, honestly, that was the reason why beyond many others. But anyway, so keep going.
Well, it was Dodge truck commercials. Did 6 of those.
Right.
Breathing room, yes. And not only that, but because it is a national campaign commercial, my face is all over TVs across America.
Yep.
I use that in comedy clubs to get to headliner status.
Yeah.
So no longer am I just a comedian.
You're the guy
Here
from
is
the HEMI.
the HEMI guy.
The HEMI guy.
Yeah. And they'd be like, oh. And then a curiosity alone, people would buy tickets.
Well, it gives the promoters something to say.
Something to say. Yeah. So that helped. One thing helping another. Bada bing, bada boom. And I got to headliner status after that.
Did you say... So you did not have a manager at this point?
No, when I moved to LA, I didn't have one.
Right.
But then after Montreal, I got
was that so? It was after Montreal, then the HEMI?
Yes.
Montreal,
yes.
then HEMI.
Montreal, then HEMI.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it came to you letting the promoters know about the HEMI guy, was that your idea or your manager's idea to give them that heads up? Like, hey, promote him like this will help?
I think I may have said, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a good idea?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where it came from. It sounds like you agented yourself for so long.
Yeah.
You managed yourself for so long. I'm just curious, were you in the mindset of saying, wait, this is actually something that will help my brand and will help me to propel my career if they say HEMI guy?
I thought there's probably positive and negative to both of that. Like, one, I'm not that guy. I'm an actor for hire. I'm a gun for hire. I'll play that guy.
Right.
But I don't want people coming to this to see me do stand up and think it's an hour of that dude.
Right.
At the same time, if that gets him in the building,
uber redneck.
Right. But at the same time, it gets him in the building.
Yeah.
What do I care?
And a lot of your routine does dance around.
It's very close.
The redneckness.
Yeah. That's why I came up with Metro, Jeff.
That's right.
Because I want you to know I can go there.
That's right.
I'm also, like I said, I got an education.
That's right.
I just sound retarded. But it's like, I did have that conversation with myself. But in terms of just being my own manager agent, that was in terms of stand-up.
Yep.
And once I got to commercials, that kind of thing, I let them sort of weigh in on that. So the first thing I got was a college agent. The college agent wanted to be a manager. So he quit being an agent and decided, I'm going to be a manager, and I was one of his first clients.
Got it.
He introduced me to commercial agency.
Got it.
So then I had the commercial agency. They got me to Dodge commercials, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
And then later on, I got a manager, a different agent, that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I remember after headlining so long with the HEMI thing under my belt, Comedy Central, I did a half hour for them. It is a Comedy Central Presents. Jon Reep. I did little short stints on Comedy Central. Premium Blend was one. I did a thing called Late Friday, was just stand up at night. All stand up, right? So I've been doing this, commercials, that kind of stuff. I did a sitcom, which shot over here, right in our backyard.
CBS Radford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you ever want to get a sitcom canceled, buy a house.
Oh.
They'll cancel it for you every time.
Oh, no. Note to self.
Yeah. So,
well, if you want to, or you want to get booked, travel.
Leave.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
Yeah. Leave the city. You'll get booked.
Oh, that's it. Just ignore your phone calls for a week. He must be onto something.
It's about something about like letting it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somehow.
It's very zen out here.
It's very zen. Exactly. It works though.
It does, sadly.
I know.
But
so you got this. You did the sitcom.
Yeah, and that and that's good money.
Yeah.
Primetime network sitcom.
Beautiful thing.
That got me off the road for a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I didn't have to do stand up as much.
Yep.
And now I can just focus on acting.
Yeah.
Like, let me parlay this into something else.
Now that's a windfall, right?
Yeah.
And most people most regular folk who work a 9-to-5 job don't ever have the experience of windfalls.
Yeah.
Entertainers do.
Yeah.
God willing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the question I'm always interested in when I talk to guys like you and what we do is, were you prepared for the windfall, and did you navigate the windfall wisely?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't think so.
In retrospect?
No, yeah, because if we're looking back.
But you bought some real estate.
I got lucky there.
Okay.
I did buy this place at a not great time, but it still has made
it's the trajectory. This area is skyrocketing right now.
Yeah, yeah. So I managed to hang on to it.
Yes.
Winning Last Comic Standing helped me. Getting on the sitcom called Rodney got me the thing.
Right.
With Dodge HEMI commercial money.
Yes.
Winning Last Comic Standing let me keep it.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So I still have it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I didn't know I was going to win Last Comic. There was a moment after Rodney where nothing was happening in terms of acting, and I was just like, I'm just this guy floating out there. And,
how long was it between that and your next gig?
Well, the next big money-making gig was Last Comic Standing. And
but how long was it between, like, time-wise?
Probably 2.5, 3 years.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's this crazy similar story because, I was on a show on NBC, primetime, on a show on USA, doing two shows at the same time.
Great.
Right?
They let you do that.
For years. Oh, yeah. It was amazing.
Good.
Well, because the NBC series only ran for, like a month, but it was like 3 seasons.
Right,
Because it was, it was reality TV, and I was hosting reality TV.
Loved it.
Yeah. For Love or Money. Yes. Well, that was not Tool Academy. It was For Love or Money.
I was thinking Tool Academy.
Yeah,
yes,
For Love or Money. So either way around it, I had those two shows on TV at the same time, living, sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't like gangster style. I wasn't like rolling in it, but I was doing really well.
Yeah.
And 2008 happened, dude. And bottom dropped out, and like, I was ill prepared.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I couldn't get arrested, run down the street naked. I mean, and you said you had a similar experience. You think, I'll book something soon.
Yeah, I'm already this big. I can't go in reverse.
That's right.
It's impossible.
It's an upward trajectory, right?
Yeah.
No.
It can go all the way.
It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope backwards.
Yeah.
And it was terrifying.
Oh God.
Terrifying. But you stayed the course, obviously, because you didn't have a choice.
I didn't know. That's right.
No, because honestly,
I didn't know what else to do.
Look at your resume.
Yeah.
If you had to go get another job at that age, I don't know what you were, but I mean, when that happened to me, my resume was television.
Yeah.
For like 7-8 years.
What else would I do?
Nothing.
I couldn't.
Unless you were going to like pump gas.
Right.
Flip burgers.
I mean, I couldn't even go get my old job back because the technology had changed so much.
Right.
I'd have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I would have not. I have no clue how to do the stuff they do now.
Yeah.
In television.
So
behind
kids,
the camera. Yeah.
Kids. Moral of the story: have a plan B.
Save your money.
I remember my mom and dad saying, have a plan B. Have a plan B. I'm like, fuck plan B.
Plan B means you're not really trying hard.
That's right. Well, plan B means like there's a possibility I'm not going to get what I want.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know what? It doesn't necessarily have to be that black and white.
Right. You can have a plan B and go all in one thing.
That's right.
Just have like a. I wouldn't even say plan B. I call it a security blanket, maybe.
Something that you can
just
sustain.
Be smart about your money.
Well, being smart about your money is one thing, but always having some sort of positive cash flow that you can generate because you say so.
Right.
And whatever that is, I don't
Well-
know. I don't know what that is, but in this day and age, there are a lot more possibilities to create.
Well, it could be podcasting.
It could be podcasting. I mean, it could be a number of things.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, with technology being what it is, being able to find an alternative source of income
Yeah.
to sustain the crazy
Right.
choice that we've made, we highly recommend it. This is a PSA.
Yeah, because we were both scared shitless for about 3 years, probably.
Terrifying.
And thank God, Last Comic Standing happened.
Oh, man, it's
Because
so
I
great.
remember as a comedian sitting at home watching other comedians, some
Season
of which
1, Season 2,
Yeah.
Season 3.
I'm thinking like, and this is my fault for not 100% immersing myself in the newer stand-up scene, that kind of stuff. Like I said, when I was on Rodney sitcom money, I'm like, well, I'm done with stand-up.
I'm good.
I'm an actor now.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to do. It pays way better, and more people see it.
Yeah, I don't have to leave.
Yeah, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I can go across the street.
Yeah, run to work.
Yeah. So now I was kind of out of it. Now I'm watching, but I still do stand-up.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
yeah.
doing it, but not like,
I get you.
I'm watching these other comedians. I'm like, well, I don't know them, and they're getting all this primetime network television exposure. The season I was on, Last Comic Standing, it was not just in America. It was Canada, it was the UK, and it was Australia. So when I'm watching this, I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot. My agent, I was a little jealous, because now I haven't been on TV in a minute, and here they are. I don't know them, and
yeah.
I'm not to be cocky, but I know I can at least as good as them.
Yes.
So I'm like, well, all right. My agent calls me up. I had a booking agent, comedy stuff, and he called me up. He goes, all right, 'cause I've been turning it down.
How many seasons into it have you
Season,
been?
I was on season 5.
I know that, but so season
this-
1, season 2, you're like,
1 through 4. I turned
no.
it down. I turned it down the audition.
Got it.
Yeah, not like winning.
Right. I went and I said no. I won't
They
take
said,
your
we're
money.
going to make you the winner. No. But no, it was more of an audition. Like, they called me up and said, okay, so my agent knew I was not happy about the reality side of this. I didn't like the reality show part of this competition.
I get it, yeah.
I wanted to be like, I don't know what I wanted, but I didn't like that. I hated watching a comedian on camera, on stage, kill and look right into the camera and be desperate and go, please vote for me.
Totally.
Like, it looked weird.
Yeah.
I didn't like that part of it. Are we confident or not?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But he calls me up. He goes, all right, this year they're going to do it different. We'll have a set time audition. You don't have to wait in a line. We'll go down there, 15 minutes in and out. They're going to get road tested comics, guys who can who've been on the road, who can deliver an hour if they win.
Right.
And there's no house you have to stay in. Everyone's going to get their own hotel rooms, and the prize money is going up from $50,000 to $250,000.
Wow.
I said, well, I guess I'll go down there. And so
I'm in.
I'm in. And I went down. I didn't think I'd win the thing, but I figured, well, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some
didn't
exposure.
Get some exposure. I knew that I would be painted, rightly so, most likely, the redneck guy, because
Right.
all reality shows like to have their
Archetypes.
Yes. And I go, well, that's me.
Which is perfect, actually.
I played it up. I
Yeah.
knew how to do it. I was
No.
already a HEMI guy for years.
Having done the years of reality TV I've done, the ones who usually rose to the top were the ones who knew their niche. They knew their type, and they
And
knew what
were
they were supposed
okay
to
with
play.
it. Yeah.
Play the role.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'll look fresh off the chuck wagon if that's what you want. And so I did. And it just, it slowly kept doing well, It took forever because, they did it in different cities for a while. Then we got
Right.
back together in another city.
Right.
So I didn't think I would win. I was happy to be on the show. It gave me, like I said, primetime network TV exposure once again all over the world in a weird way.
Yeah.
Canada, UK, Australia. And it's the biggest thing I've done. It's the reason why I'm still able to tour without being on a sitcom still right now or doing something currently on television.
And you're going to demand a better quote.
Yeah, well, that goes up and down, but definitely can still perform in any comedy club in the country as a headliner. And it's all thanks to Last Comic Standing. And it helped me keep my house as well.
Beautiful. How, while you've been doing stand-up, whether it was coming up, doing Last Comic Standing, have there been instances where you've just found yourself like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is a terrible idea. Have you ever had doubts or like, this is not for me, or conflict of...
Yeah. Well, stand-up, not so much. Acting, yes. Stand-up's always... I've never doubted because I don't know what else I would do.
Right.
I don't let my brain go there.
Smart.
I should do something else. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So that, that's a little motivator in a weird, scary way. But I've never doubted doing that. With acting, sometimes I realize, like, I don't know. I'm always having to go audition.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't you just look at my reel? Why do I have to go there and prove myself all over again?
Auditions are
in front
the
of people who are younger than me.
You ask any actor,
Yeah.
at any level,
Yeah.
likely response to asking the question, what do you think about auditions?
Yeah.
Is they hate them. They're horrible.
It's the worst.
It's a horrible experience. It's a highly unnatural scenario.
Yes.
And you're supposed to show up and be awesome.
Yeah.
Like that day, right then, one time, one shot.
Yeah. And if he can do it now, he can do it later.
Right. That's right. And that one audition, that one take, sometimes that's all they give you.
Yeah.
One audition,
It's
one take.
It's so high pressured. I mean, it's really unfair to people who have the chops.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
if I were
you gotta have staying power. You gotta have a staying power.
if I were to hire a plumber, I wouldn't make him come to my house and go, let's see what you can do here. Maybe I'll pay you. No, I look at his resume. I go, well, this guy's certified. He has years of experience, and I trust that will be the case.
Well, and thank God there have been a handful of times in my career where what you said has actually happened. It's been actually I heard John Heffron say it. He said he was grounder. He was a grounder. He calls it like in baseball.
Oh.
The ball just comes to you.
Oh, it's just right there.
Put your mitt down and just pick it up.
Yeah.
That's a grounder.
Yeah.
And where
someone hit you a grounder.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And so the idea of getting a job because someone saw your reel.
Right.
Or
that
that's
happens
it.
in stand-up, but not so much acting. It can happen in acting.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's happened.
Yeah,
That's what it doesn't happen very often.
Right.
But it has happened, and knowing that it can happen makes me want it more.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want them to do that more often.
Right.
I mean, it's there's something so exhilarating. I mean, I had a phone call. I remember I got a phone call. I had an audition for a commercial. I booked they put me on hold for the commercial.
Yeah.
Right. And being on hold for a commercial doesn't mean anything like it used to, but because it can be on hold and then be released. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm on hold for this really nice, juicy commercial. And I get a call from my theatrical agent saying, hey, different agent, theatrical agent saying, you just got offered a film.
Ooh,
Right?
offered.
10 days. Yeah. 10 days out of the city. Oh,
that's great.
I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. The dates are 16th to the 26th, whatever, something like that, you know? And the hold for the other commercial is the 17th.
Okay.
So right in the beginning of the actual shoot where I have to leave the city, they want me shooting this commercial, possibly.
Oh.
So I tell my agent, I'm like, listen, guys,
Well,
I call the commercial agent. I mean, this is a good problem, right?
Yes.
I call my agent up and I said, listen, I don't want to F this up because I know I'm on hold, but I got to say an offer kind of trumps a hold. So I'm going to have to tell you guys to clean up whatever needs to get cleaned up and hoping nobody's pissed off.
Yeah.
And I told my other agent, take the movie.
Yeah.
Script, what script? Just take the movie.
Take it. Yeah. Yes.
So 2 hours later, I get a phone call from my commercial agent saying, hey, good news. They moved the schedule for your days off from the film to shoot this commercial.
The film moved.
No. The film stuck. They wouldn't move.
Yeah, no.
But the commercial moved to my open off days.
So you got to do both?
So I flew back and drove back in.
Oh, man, that's great.
It was amazing. But it's one of those, like, you're like on my knees, like, thank you.
Oh, God. That hardly ever happens.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful, it's just one of those wonderful experiences of saying, you know what, this is possible.
Yeah.
And it's glorious when it happens. And you just kind of relish it when it does.
Yeah.
Because you never know. But yes, there is something to be said about that having to go into a room and prove yourself and just suck it up.
Yeah.
And just, I think for me, I've had to kind of shift my perspective on the audition to, I'm going to go in there and have fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to go in there and have fun and not take it too fucking serious.
Right.
Oftentimes that's when I book.
100%.
Because if I'm caring way too much about it.
Yes. What is this letting go Zen crap to make you do out here?
Yeah, that's it
Just
though.
gotta let go.
Yeah.
Because I've had more success not caring than ever caring.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you think caring should be valued.
Yeah. Well, there's something about
It makes you freer. It makes you better, weirdly.
Well, it's a fine line between having an intention to have something and forcing something.
Yeah.
There's something distinct about that.
Yeah.
Energetically, I don't know what it is. I mean, when I asked you to do this podcast, I'm like, oh man, what is John's going to think about this topic of conversation?
Yeah.
You usually do like comic stuff, comedy guys talking, they're being funny and zany and crazy, and you're gonna come on here and I'm gonna ask you about your spirit animal. but it is, there's something about it that there is an energy.
Yeah.
to
Right.
what we do. You know, you walk into a room, and if you're off or you're feeling desperate,
Yeah.
they can smell it.
Yeah. Some rooms are cold. Some rooms are nice.
Brutal.
Some rooms are, and that is a whole nother animal. When
Yes.
you walk right in, like, well, how do I overcome this weird moment right now that they've created?
Yes. And be great. And be great.
And be great. And
great.
get this part.
Yeah,
and not give a shit.
Walk in. I mean, I've walked into casting rooms. I'm trying to think of how to explain this to somebody who's listening right now. So imagine a closet. Let's think about a closet. Like, let's say 12 by 12, 15 by 15.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a big
Sure.
closet, but
Right.
nonetheless, it's not a big room.
Yeah.
Now, fill it with 10 people
Right. Yeah.
on two
Yeah.
couches
And they're all
and a camera. And they're all
right.
staring at you when you walk in the door. And you literally, if you fell forward, your face would be in their lap.
Yeah.
That's how close you are.
Yeah.
Be great. And action. Yeah. It's
Some of my favorite ones a lot of times are the guys there's just one dude behind a camera.
Oh,
And
yeah.
He's just recording it for other people.
yes.
I feel way more comfortable that way because I know he don't care. He ain't even looking.
No.
He's just looking through a
He's not even
lens.
looking.
He's just hitting record and
Yeah.
did you sign up the sheet?
That's right. The initial audition.
Yes, but I've been able to book things on that alone sometimes.
oh, great.
And I love that. My favorite one, Into the Storm, was this film I did.
Yeah.
Big tornado movie. I walked at the audition, and I usually hate these kind of auditions
Right.
where it's like, okay, there's no script. We're just going to give you a scenario.
Yep.
And you go.
Improvise.
Improvise. I'm like, ugh. Normally I hate that because, that's all me. But I go, okay, what's the scenario? Okay, so you're running for your life. There's a tornado coming, and you just jump into an abandoned bank, and you're hiding under a desk, and you're praying to God to save you from dying. And I'm like, okay, so I'm this
You're talking to yourself.
This ain't comedy, then, is it? And I remember I had just gone through a bad breakup, and I remember I used it.
Yeah.
And I ended up just on the ground bawling. Wow. I've never cried in an audition before. Never had to. Never been asked to.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know I could.
Yeah.
And I went there and I got up and I was wiping tears off my face. I was looking at the guy. I was like, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know it was going to happen. He's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.
Dude, you brought it.
And I got the part.
You brought it. And that is it's a courageous thing to go there.
Yeah, I didn't know I could.
And to bring it.
Yeah.
But you did. So tell me something before we wrap up here, because I know you and I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Tell me something that people who know you might be surprised to learn about you.
Oh, okay. Well,
Something where you're like,
I am probably less rednecky than they think. Like,
interesting.
I've come up with Metro Jethro to sort of ease people. The Dodge.
So you would say that the playing the part, you're like,
I've been living in Los Angeles for 18 years.
you're 30% Jethro and 70%.
That's about right. Yeah, there's percentages. Probably 70% more Metro than Jethro.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
enjoy sushi. I love it.
Now,
I'm
so is
talking
that-
raw fish.
Is that something that you would be like if you went back to Hickory? People would be like, "Huh?"
Yeah. Well, it's weird there because I've been out here so long.
Right.
I'm Hollywood. They'll look at me. Oh, look at Hollywood with that fancy smartphone. You think you too good for a cord? I'm like, what? Who has a cord in their phone anymore? But it's that for them.
Yes.
Here, I sound this way. I have to overcome. Like, I'll be out to eat, and I'll order my food, and the waiter or waitress will hear this accent and go, oh my God, where are you from? I gotta spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes explaining myself to a stranger when all I want is my damn breakfast.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I've learned to adjust the accent a little bit, enunciate more.
Right.
But I'm probably more Metro than Jethro, I would say. I don't drive a truck.
No.
I don't hunt. I don't fish.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't have a gun?
I don't have a gun. I have one gun. My dad gave it to me. It's an old gun.
A musket.
It's a yeah, but that's just for certain auditions out here. I just take it in with me. Like, whoa, okay.
You're a Civil War reenactor.
yeah. But yeah, I think most people, if you just looked at me online and that's all you know, if you don't really know me,
Yes.
you would think that guy is 100% a redneck, and you would be incorrect.
Got it. All
Yeah,
right. Fantastic.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
dude, thanks so much for coming and spending some time doing this podcast with me. I really appreciate it.
I had a ball. I got to get you on my podcast at some point. I've got 2 podcasts.
Well, we're conveniently located.
I know where you live.
You do.
I'm right across the courtyard.
That's right. All right, buddy. Well, thanks so much. And see you guys on the next episode. Thanks. Stay tuned for more episodes of Breakthroughs with Jordan Murphy. Check out my website at breakthroughswithjordanmurphy.com. Stay connected on Instagram at jordanmurphy1025 and Twitter at Jordan D. Murphy. And if you have a great story to share, as I'm sure many of you do, go to my website at breakthroughswithjordanmurphy.com and shoot me an abbreviated version of your story to my email. I'll give it a read and maybe share a couple of them on the show.